on Zoom, I have Macomb County Prosecutor Peter Lucido.
Yep, and I do have a card for Macomb County Prosecutor Pete Lucido on Zoom, wishing to speak and supporting the bill. Hello, sir.
You guys, hi, good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, loud and clear. You have the floor. Here you go.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And thank you, members of the Judiciary Committee. I sure do miss it because that was where good policy was being made. So thanks for all that you do. I'll get right to it, Madam Chair. 5510 and 5511 are both necessary, and it's this way. Back many, many years ago, a legislator came up with this 771.1 to give a delayed sentence, but it really is abstracted at the time of the plea. So there's no problems with anything on that end. What we did is we invented a specialty court, and the specialty court is because of unpaid child support, and anything over $5,000 is a felony in the state. As the representative St. Germain said, we have a dilemma. We have actually a problem of $5.6 billion in unpaid child support, of which your DHHS budget is taking care of a lot of children that don't belong to us. And as taxpayers, I'm offended by that a father or a mother or both can't support their child. And if they have reasons, they put in, let's say it's a disability, and they've applied for Social Security disability, the child will get a portion, not taken away from the parent, but it will get a portion under state law and federal law for that disability that the parent suffers that can't make money and support the child. So we're cleaning that up here in Macomb County. To date, since we put in the child support specialty court, we've collected over $5 million. And we're doing this with two men in a truck. I want to thank Michigan Works. They are a partner in this. And when there's soft felons that come before the court that say, Your Honor, I can't get a job because I have a felony conviction, it's not a problem. We'll automatically hire soft felons. We'll also get them through what's called job training. We have it where they can take up a trade. But we've got to get people back to work because a person working feels good about themselves and they can take care of their child or their children from 0 to 18, which are the most critical years in the development of a child. All the representatives are doing by this bill are allowing courts to have tools in the toolbox to give an extension from 1 up to 5 years under only child support, to go ahead and monitor the payor of the child support. And that's a good thing because if they don't make a mistake or their job is terminated by no accountability of their own, we have other jobs through Michigan Works. And I think everybody in the state will know Michigan Works is paid by our tax dollars, so they're there to assist people to get jobs. And Lord knows there's a lot of jobs out there right now. All we're doing is giving that flexibility to the judges because they said, Pete, some of these people have 20,000, 30,000. I can't expect them to pay it within a year. And I agree. And I don't want them to have felony convictions. So as a result, these carve-outs that we're doing for child support is a way that we can work with the payer, get the child the support, and have a meaningful discussion about how we're going to reduce instead of just avoiding what we ultimately know is a lot of money that's outstanding in child support. Lastly, Rep. Edwards, regarding her bill, it is necessary because it won't go down as a conviction. And what I mean by that is there will not be a conviction on the record where somebody could lose their job. So understand what I'm saying is right now, the conviction goes down under this section of the statute. And then after, say, a year, it's taken off. With some of these jobs, you're not allowed to have felonies on your record where people that owe child support and they have to keep the job. So it's just a delay in the abstracting, or if you will, never abstracting if they have met the terms and conditions of the court, which is the order. If there's any questions, Madam Chair, I stand ready to answer any questions.
Rep. Wozniak.
Thank you, Prosecutor Lucido. There's two different charges in here for the supervision. One is $30, the other is $60. Does that include the tethering charges?
So that's the probationary standard. There's no money in regards to this bill. None. Zero. This is where a judge says, first of all, the prosecutor's got to agree to 771.1. It's in the statute. So we're not changing any of that. What we are doing is allowing the judges to have the discretion to continue longer than a year. So if the person's on probation and reporting, the oversight fee could be $60 a month, as that's directed by the probation department and the court. We're just asking that the carve-outs be put into this, because I really did look for the legislative intent as to why it was only a year. And most judges say, yeah, why a year? Sometimes we want to keep somebody on probation 2 years and they earn the right not to have that felony conviction. So this is a good thing if it dealt with it all the way through, but I'm not going that far. Today, I just need it for the child support, those individuals that can't get it paid up within 12 months. That's why we're doing it up to 60 months.
Okay, thank you.
Rep. Breen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Prosecutor Lucido. It was a pleasure meeting you recently. I'm grateful that you're supportive of these. I think these are a great idea. I was able to practice family law at the beginning of my career, and imprisoning people who can't pay child support doesn't make a lot of sense in a lot of circumstances. We want them working. And also, in case you're unaware, there is now a family treatment court option in the family courts that will allow the same types of programs that will help people get back on track so they can support their families. I'm wondering, do you have any statistics on about how many individuals this might be affecting, either within your county or statewide?
So in Macomb County, we've been doing the data because as a former legislator, we all ask for data, don't we, to see how big of a problem is it? And better yet, all of us as legislators always should ask the question, what are we trying to solve? What is the question we're trying to answer? In our case here, there was nobody taking any initiative to go ahead and collect this arrearage out there, although the Attorney General's office has a division. We have a division as it relates to, and I don't know if you guys know this, but the prosecution under the statute has to establish paternity. That means if there's nobody on that birth certificate, it's our obligation to call in the mother if the mother goes on state aid or the father goes on state aid to give the information of who is the biological parents. So we do it right here with swabs on fathers because we know who the biological mother is, on swabs to have them come in and go and take a DNA test. And after they do the DNA test, then we have established paternity. Now we have to set a child support amount. That's our job as a prosecutor. And anything over $5,000 that they're behind in child support is a felony non-support warrant. And that goes out, and instead of having anybody convicted, let's just get what we want is compliance. Start paying your child support. When judges hear, and if you did family law, like you said, you hear the judges go into court, they don't have any solutions to these things. To ask the person there at the podium, when they say, I'm a felon and I can't get a job. Well, now we're going to give you a job. We have these jobs available through Michigan Works for soft felons. There's employers out there that said, if they've got a criminal past, we're willing to take them, but not for violent crimes. That's a little tougher. As a result, this expands what we are doing to collect the arrearages to give back to the taxpayers of the state who has in fact paid their child support for them, and also not ending up with a criminal conviction. Take that to the bank, because what we're doing is making sure we keep people working and keep the kids regarding getting child support.
Thank you. Minority Vice Chair Carter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, prosecutor and colleague, for bringing this. So, 5,000 is the triggering for the felony, correct?
That is correct.
And that's for child support.
That's correct.
Okay. So, I think you said 5.6 billion was the total collectibles. 4.2 was tri-county area. So, do you have a
Wayne?
breakdown?
Yeah, if you need the breakdown, a representative, it's this: 3.4 billion out of Wayne County,
Okay.
300 million out of Macomb County, 393 or 383 out of Oakland County. So when you add those up, you're coming up with more than half the state. and it's unfortunate, but it's true. I mean, these numbers are right from the state.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Over 20 years ago, I was in charge of friend of the court down at the Penobscot building. And we had the enforcement crew. And we did go to tellers. We did find mattress money. I'm just trying to figure out how do we collect a lot of
representatives,
this?
so that the benefit of the committee, if you pick somebody up on a felony non-support, they have to post. This is statute.
Yep.
They have to post 25% of the then owing arrearages to get out. And you'd be surprised how the money comes out of the walls when they are in custody.
call it mattress money.
Family members run down there with the 25% of the net owing child support.
Thanks for the numbers. I'll be in touch with the Wayne County as well, seeing they're the largest. They need the money more than anybody else. So thanks.
You're right. You're right. It's a shame that these children have gone without. And forget, the love of a parent can only be given once during their childhood. And when you lost that, and when a child loses their childhood, it's the worst thing that can happen.